Sticks. Love that song, guys. I know, isn't it bad? I always start out singing a song for you guys, playing you some tunes. Oh, you did, Beth? They were awesome. You got a Babe t-shirt. Confederate, oh, you are? You're seeing Confederate Railroad tomorrow? Oh, I love Brian Adams and Pat Benatar. You better go. Okay. What's up, RJ? Cruise this time of year. I am not going on a cruise. I am sorry not to disrespect people who like to go on cruise, but I watch YouTube channels where they show people on cruises. It's scary. Okay? You cannot get in a car and go 100 miles an hour to get away from people. Okay? You're in the middle of the ocean. Scary. Scars me. Okay, let me start off by saying this. I am a commentary channel. I give my opinion. And I appreciate all your opinions, but please I do not need to know if you like Chris McDonough or you don't like Chris McDonough. Personally, I don't need to know if you dislike Seth Rogers, okay? And please, please, please dress your words up in chat. All right? My teaching assistant is running late today. I will try to keep up with my chat as much as I can. Okay. No fair. What do you mean no fair? You mean no fear? F-E-A-R. See, that's the problem right there, Mr. A. You come into class and then you take off, right? And you're gone the whole class time. And then when we get ready to end the class, then you come back in. Okay? Fair is F-E-A-R, darling, not F-A-R-E. Okay? I get it. Cinnamon Girl, thank you for coming in. I felt really bad yesterday. I can't remember what I said, but yeah, I didn't mean to come at you sideways or anything. For real. I would never do that to you, darling. I felt bad. I was like, what exactly did I say? But anywho, I am so glad to see you popping in. That makes me feel better. It does. Yes, you are always in trouble. Okay, hold on. I got the music going. I got my music in the background going. This is the interview room. The link is in the description. Let me say hi to Carrie K. Carrie with a K. Hello, Carrie with a K. Mr. A. Carrie saying she's going to be late. I don't know how Flies is feeling, so I don't know if she'll be in at all. We's in, Lisa A, not Lisa Jaton. I ended up blocking her. Oh, there's Flies. All of them are still good. Are you kidding? Pat Benatar. You know, some of them even sound better with age. For real. Yep, I got that ruler for sure. It's spelling and grammar. That's hard. Words are easy. Yes, hard. The easier the word, the harder to spell. Okay. Amy's is in the house. Okay, so absolutely, we don't care who you like or don't like over here. And I will start this out by saying that Seth's son, Sebastian Rogers, okay, went missing in February of 2024. He was last seen by his mother. There was a massive search. Authorities say there is no evidence currently of criminal activity. So, that's kind of weird, but so Seth was on Chris McDonough's, and I didn't watch the whole thing because you guys know that I love to watch things with you guys, and we talk it out and think about things, right? For real. Hey, Texas Kim. So absolutely, please feel free to give your opinion. Please dress your words up in chat. Let me get this started here. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate that. Why haven't, that's weird. Hold on. Something's not right here. Hold on. Let me get this figured out. Come sail away with me. I love that song. I really do. Hold on. There, I got it. Okay, now I've got it. Yeah, it wasn't letting me get to my chat there. Okay, so here we go. And yes, over here on my channel, hello, Patty Ponytail. We have covered Sebastian's case before. So we're not going into this, blind. Okay. So for sure. Here we go. I'm just getting started, girl. I am just getting started. All right. Let me find what I was looking for. Here we go. Like I said, the link to this is in the description, and we are it was really weird because I did go into Chris McDonough's chat for a moment. I was asking what I wanted to ask, but of course it was ignored, was Seth Rogers, could you please tell me about the devices that belong to you that Sebastian would use your adult account to be on these apps and stuff, right? That didn't go over very well. They were like, no, we're not even touching that. So from my understanding, Seth called Chris McDonough at like 3:00 in the morning, right? Now we could all have our own opinion about that, right? We could be thinking along the lines of, Chris has a lot of subs. So Chris putting it out there, of course, a lot of subs are going to, he's going to reach a lot more people than like us tiny people over here. But, sometimes it's the quality of the people that you have. My subs and members and mods were very, very high qualifying individuals. Whatever you want to qualify us for. Hey, Freeside. Okay, here we are. Commentate, give my opinion, and also try to be a little educational. Okay. Like I said, I will remind you all, please dress your words up in chat. Okay, I am not going to show you their faces. We are just going to hear what they are saying, class. All right, here we go. This is Chris McDonough speaking with Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' father.
As well as can be, I guess.
Well, it's great to have you on the program this evening. And how have you been holding up?
Just trying not to fall apart.
Yeah. So tell everybody about your YouTube channel, and we're going to get into, where things stand in the nitty gritty tonight. I'm so grateful that you've carved out the time to trust me and trust our audience with your story here.
I appreciate everything you do to help bring enlightenment for my innocent child, Sebastian. I do have a YouTube channel. I share pretty much Sebastian's missing poster and other missing children's. And lately I've been doing question and answers on Fridays about Sebastian, about anything that people want to ask that I know proper information for.
Okay, see, this was a big thing from the beginning because what I seen, hey, Bomber Cat, I don't know what you guys' take on it. When Sebastian went missing, the way that Seth was projecting himself, to me it was more about money than looking for Sebastian. I'm not saying he didn't look for Sebastian. I'm not saying that. But it seemed like, let me say it like this. It seemed like, and this is just the way I feel, in the beginning, the way that Seth handled law enforcement, handled YouTubers, just all around, the guy just seemed like it was more about him, right? It was more about him. That is the way I feel. I'm not telling anybody they have to feel that way. That is the vibes I got, right? That is the vibes that I absolutely got.
And okay. People to speak about.
So keep me on the right track tonight as we go through Sebastian's case here. Sebastian Wayne Rogers, then 15, vanished overnight, February 25th through the 26th, 2024, from his mother, Katie Proudfoot's home, who's Seth's ex-wife. And in that home, living there as well, was his stepfather named Chris Proudfoot. And they lived in Henderson, Sumner County, Tennessee, where do they still currently reside there?
I believe so, sir.
Okay. He was last confirmed to have been seen on the evening of the 25th after a, quote, normal day, according to his mother, shopping, bowling, video games, they had dinner, etc. And then the mother heard a loud bang come from his room around 10 p.m. She asked if everything was fine. Sebastian responded he was. And on the morning of the 26th, when she allegedly woke up after a nap, walked in to his bedroom, and Seth's 15-year-old son
Sorry, don't know why I muted myself. From what I remember, Katie, prior to hearing that noise, had been kicked back on the couch doing schoolwork and speaking with her husband, Chris Proudfoot. Okay? Sebastian was in his room. It sounds like that call with Chris Proudfoot was a very long call. Okay? So she's multitasking, she's doing homework, talking to Chris, and Sebastian's in his room messing around. Sebastian does come out of his room at one point, if I remember, I could be wrong, and goes back in his room. Katie then, around, I thought she said 11 or so, I could be wrong, says she goes to bed. she hears a noise. No, maybe she was still on the couch. Anyway, she hears a noise from Sebastian's room. She asks him, what are you doing? Are you all right? He responds, yes, Mom. I'm okay. She then goes to bed, wakes up the next morning. Sebastian is nowhere to be found. Katie freaks out. She gets in her vehicle. She drives to the school, with Sebastian having autism. Sebastian was autistic. She thought that maybe, she was hoping that Sebastian just went to school, right? Because that was a pattern. He was used to going to the school, right? So at that time, she then gets freaked out when she can't find him. She calls Chris Proudfoot, who at the same time calls 911. Seth was at work, okay? He was at work. He mentions that in here. I mean, here we go. Oh, wait, there's a commercial. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Out of the home. And at that time, he was 15. Today, he would be 17. He's missing approximately 2.5 years now. And here's the kicker, everybody, that we're going to talk about tonight. 15-year-olds don't vanish.
No child that is gone and people don't know what happened, they don't vanish. They just don't vanish.
They do not vanish. And in this case, the key details are that he left his shoes behind, his cell phone, money, extra clothes, and of course, most importantly, food and medications.
How do we know he left extra clothes behind? Did he ever have clothes that he left at Seth's house? Right?
That he needs to sustain his lifestyle and his condition of being on the autistic scale.
Because see, this is what's weird is the fact that Sebastian was 15 and Seth had commented before that, he would say things like, well, I bought him a pair of boots, or I bought him this, or I bought him that. So that's why I questioned, did Sebastian have extra clothes, extra shoes at his father's, right?
His phone and cash remained on the dining room table when authorities arrived looking for him. There was potentially, though, one alleged missing item, and that was a small yellow flashlight. There was no signs of forced entry that have ever been reported publicly. Security cameras in the home reportedly were not working that night, and that's kind of weird because his mom actually works for a security company.
That is kind of weird. And was that ever questioned by Katie Proudfoot? Why her cameras didn't work? Right? I agree. That is weird. Okay.
His profile, Sebastian's profile. He is 5'5" at the time. He was 110 pounds to 120. Blonde hair, blonde and brown hair, brown and hazel eyes. He was last reportedly wearing a black sweatshirt and pants, black squared frame glasses, and he was born December 7th, 2008. He has been diagnosed having autistic spectrum disorder. He's high functioning, which may affect communication and responses to stress.
But see, this is the thing. Sebastian was 15, right? Why wouldn't any family want news, eyes, new investigation? What do you, I mean, are you guys talking about Summer's case?
That is severely combined with a type of ADHD, which is called 6q27 chromosome deletion syndrome. This is a rare genetic condition linked to intellectual disabilities and developmental delays. Law enforcement has noted that these conditions may impair his ability to return home safely without some type of assistance. That, my friends, is our young man, Sebastian. With us tonight is his biological father, Seth. And Seth has been searching for his son.
The problem with Summer's case is immediately Don and Candace, even though Chris McDonough is a part of the Cold Case Foundation, Don wasn't very happy about how he was portrayed when Chris McDonough went to their home. Right?
Diligently for a
Now, if it's a cold case, then if Sebastian's case is a cold case, that is possibly why he decided to get Chris McDonough involved, right?
approximately the full length of those 2.5 years. Unfortunately, his stepfather, nor his biological mother, has put in that amount of time. As a result of that, the current...
What do you mean? They haven't put in that amount of time. Right? If that's too loud, you guys let me know.
Current case status remains active. However, per the authorities, they are not working active tips currently that anybody is aware of. And how do we know that? Well, number one, there's a lawsuit that's been filed. And in that lawsuit, Seth, who's the biological father of Sebastian, has not been speaking with the authorities because they haven't spoken to him.
Wait. Just because law enforcement have not spoke to Seth does not mean that they are not actively, pursuing any tips that are coming in about Sebastian, right? You're talking about a guy that when his son went missing, he immediately, in my opinion, felt that law enforcement should be working under him because he was Sebastian's father, right? This is what I've seen with my eyes. This is my opinion. Okay? He wanted to be the big dog, right? He wanted law enforcement, TBI, you name it. He felt they were working for him. Now, my thing is, I felt they were working for Sebastian. Okay, that's just my opinion, though. My opinion don't mean much to people, for sure. And I'm not gonna look. That is Sebastian's father. Okay. Definitely I'm not going to that is not, going to, I feel horrible for the guy. I really do. But we sat and watched him immediately try to demean everybody's character, right? It doesn't matter if they were the real Cajun Navy or not. They were there. They were threatened. They were threatened, right?
They haven't called him. They haven't updated him. In fact, if they were to find his child tomorrow, or if Seth were to find his child tomorrow, if Seth were to find him first, the authorities would have no idea unless he called them.
That's
Ladies
the
and
way he
gentlemen.
wanted it. That is the way he wanted it. Wait, that's too loud. Too loud for me. Thank you, flies. The banner is there also. Sebastian Rogers, blonde hair, brown hair, blonde or brown hair, 5'5", 120 pounds when he went missing. The number for the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and TBI are on the banner for sure.
Friends of this channel, we have a problem. And you guys know how I am on this channel. I am a straight shooter. I don't beat around the bush. When law enforcement does it right, I'm the first one to tell you they did it right. However, sometimes we get it wrong. And I want to find out.
He's the first one to tell you the law enforcement did it right.
Out tonight if this is one of those times where things are going wrong. So Seth, thank you so much for being here tonight. And it's been nearly 2.5 years, bud. Can you walk us through
900 days?
Can you walk us through a typical day now, what that looks like for you searching for Sebastian?
Well, if I'm not home, then I'm going through tips. I'm going through any emails that I get. I'm on the phone with my PI. I'm on the phone with the FBI, or I'm calling and leaving messages. These days, it also includes my attorney. If I am following a tip, then I'm on the road. There are days that I just jump in my truck and I can't stay at home. So I will literally go out and, just hand out flyers.
You have a private investor.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Army Vet, there's nothing wrong with that. So Seth no longer has a job. He doesn't have a job anymore. He didn't go back to work or anything.
Investigator, you said.
Yes, sir.
Hey, tell us about that individuals, or if you want to share that information. How's that cooking?
She pretty much stays off of social media. She's not really into that. She's old school PI.
Okay.
And every time we do get any tips or anything in there, she literally will go through them, compose an email and send it to my FBI liaison. And so they can turn around and do that.
Okay, so you are corresponding with the FBI, right? Look, I'll never forget, right? You heard he was working security at a local bank. Wow, good for him. Good for him. My point, whoever they were. Right, Texas Kim. Right. Seth wanted to control everything. Everything. I find it weird Sebastian has an FBI page, but Summer doesn't. Really? Well, the possibility that I truly think because of the card team, right? The card team came in on Summer's case and said they found no abduction, anything that would say that she was abducted. So I honestly don't think that they believe that she was taken across state line for real. Now, with Sebastian, maybe it's a little bit different because he was 15. He was 15. Right? So, I mean, I really don't know the reason, but it's just topic of conversation, right? So, but then again, there was an Amber Alert for Summer. So, I don't know though. I don't know, darling. I wish I had the answer for that. Yeah. Yeah, Flies. There was no electronic footprint or anything on Summer. She was only 5. With Sebastian, at least, they know he went to school. They have the videos of the night before, all that stuff. So, I don't know. Oh, thank you, the mouse. Girl, thank you. I appreciate you. I've been praying for you too. Sebastian could have had an FBI file because his stepdad worked out of state. No, I wouldn't see that, Amy's. Right? Yes, Flies, because see, that is what I've always said. And I keep asking that question. They took Seth Rogers' devices, all of his devices. And what did we hear him doing, right? What did we hear him doing? Complaining, I want my devices back. Give me my devices back. Why do you still have my devices? Seth admitted that Sebastian was using his adult info to play games and be on social media. He was using Seth's account because that is what freaking Seth did. Okay? Seth let him do that. You guys remember Uncle Taco? Remember Uncle Taco? For real. Hang on a second. So yeah, Uncle Taco. Uncle Taco. Right? Yeah, Don worked out of state too. For real. So Sebastian was using his adult account to converse with and play these games on social media, right? And Seth complains, I want my devices, give me my devices back. He was really pissed off that they had kept his devices. Now, guess what? If they kept those devices, there had to have been something on those devices that they were really looking into, right? Really looking into.
do their job, and we continue putting out flyers so we can continue to get tips.
Now, let's walk back to the day he went missing. Let's talk about what you were doing and when you got the call, how this entire situation unfolded for the audience that may not be familiar with your son's case. Walk everybody through what that day was like and what was going on.
I worked a 12-hour shift, got off at 7 o'clock in the morning, got to my truck about 7:20, found a text message from the stepfather saying 911. I called, he informed me that Sebastian was missing.
Okay, and
I left from there and immediately headed to their house.
Now wait. See, this is what got me. Katie said she woke up like 6 o'clock or something. And around 7-ish is when he gets this text. Well, he's angry because he felt that they should have called his boss. They should have called his boss immediately, right? Oh, good for you, the mouse. Bless you, bless you, bless you. I'm glad it's your last one. So Seth feels like that immediately they should have called his boss and said Sebastian's missing, right? Even if they knew Seth was getting off of work, right? I can't hardly do this music. It's driving me freaking crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So he wasn't happy about that. I think he's playing. Looking up his boss's number would have been the last thing. Exactly. And they knew. They knew he was, they had to have known he was getting ready to get off work. They're going to try to find Sebastian first. Law enforcement even drove around playing Eye of the Tiger song because they told them that Sebastian loved that song. Okay, the Eye of the Tiger song. Law enforcement drove around playing that song. But, you know, the hope was that Sebastian was going to turn up.
so you were notified by Sebastian's stepdad.
Correct.
And where were you working at the time?
I was at, we call it DDC. It's a downtown detention center in Nashville.
Okay, so you were a corrections officer at the time.
I'm a deputy sheriff. I just work in the corrections department. Yeah, I was in jail, maximum.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. He was a deputy sheriff. I mean, I guess he was kind of right. Lord help me.
If it is invalid, we
wait.
promise a tenfold refund.
Wait, commercial. Sorry. Oh, wait, I changed the whole freaking thing. Hold on. Hold on, people. Low budget I am.
We call it DDC. It's a downtown detention center in Nashville.
Okay, so you were a corrections officer at the time.
I'm a deputy sheriff. I just work in the corrections department. Yeah, I was in jail, maximum security, from probably about 6:50 till my relief showed up so I could get out of there at 7.
And are you on video working?
Yes, sir.
So you're at work, and what time did you go to work that day?
I was probably in the garage around 6 o'clock. I live in Clarksville and I work in Nashville, and traffic on 24, you got to plan on that. So normally I'm leaving my house at, 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest, so that I can make it there in case there's any accidents or traffic.
Okay, so simultaneously while you're going into work, it's been reported that your son is with your ex-wife, correct?
With his mother, yes.
With his mother. Okay. And they're out to dinner and just doing things while you're headed into the jail downtown.
I'm going to work. Yeah. It's I don't have Sebastian on that weekend, and on our schedule was I have Sebastian every other weekend. Well, that was the weekend that I didn't have him, so I'm at work. Because
Okay, so the night of
You worked anyway. Am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Because he spoke about Sebastian being with him and him having to work, right? Because I also remember him stating that he left Sebastian there. He would go to the store. He would do all kinds of stuff. And Sebastian did not want to go with him a lot of times, right? Also, it was stated that Sebastian did not want to go live with him, right? Yeah, he said when Sebastian was with him, yes.
from allegedly 10 o'clock, that was the last time it's been reported that Sebastian was heard, his voice, according to the mom, his mother. There was a bang in his room. Walk us through that circumstance.
that's what she stated. I mean, she said that there was I thought it was a thump, but in the room, and from my understanding, she hollered out to him, but didn't physically get up and go check on him.
Okay. And did he respond to mom?
That's what she said. She has stated that he responded.
Okay. And at 10 p.m.,
And there's no reason not to believe Katie. Okay? No reason not to believe Katie.
where were you?
I was at work.
At work. And the authorities have that video of you at work.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. What? What's that mean? I'm pretty sure they do. I have a question. Have they publicly said that Seth Rogers is not a person of interest? Have they came out and said that any three of them involved are not persons of interest? The only thing that I remember hearing is them saying they did not believe that this was okay. Let me go through this real quick. Let's see. Hold on. I have it right here. So February 25th, 2024, Sebastian Rogers was last seen by his mother, Katie Proudfoot. Now, in this article, it says, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, before going to bed. Now, if they're adding Chris Proudfoot to that, maybe Katie had him on video chat or something, because Chris was not there, right? Katie said she heard a thud in her son's room around 10. Okay. February 27th, authorities changed the alert to Amber Alert, which indicated investigators believe an abduction could be involved and the child is in immediate danger. Police used the favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, to try to lure him out. They asked people in the area to check security doorbell cameras to see if there was any footage of him. Now, this is what got me, right? Yeah, FaceTime call or something, yeah. So, Okay, wait, I forgot what I was going to say. Is the fact, if you go back and listen to Seth and some of the things he said, when he finally arrived, because it took him quite a while to get from his job where he gets a 911 text, right? To and I think if I remember, that text was along the lines of, hey, I don't want you to get upset, but we can't find Sebastian, right? Or something like that. I'm just remembering back to the case. So Seth says he finally makes it to Chris and Katie's house. Now, from what I've understood, Chris and Katie have always tried to make Seth Rogers comfortable anytime he was in their home. So that's my understanding, okay? And he gets there, and there's neighbors showing Chris and Katie their their camera footage. They are, they're coming, neighbors are coming over and stuff. And Seth says that he sits down in the front yard and just doesn't want nothing to do with none of them people, right? And he gets back in his vehicle and decides just to drive around the neighborhood to look for him. Okay? I get it. I get it. Your ex-wife, you're uncomfortable with her and her husband. I get it. Right? So, he immediately goes and searches the neighborhood, he said. Flies. I know Flies remembers. How long from when he got that text at the job did it take him to he took a nap in his truck too? Oh yeah. I know you know this because we've talked about it. From Seth's job to Chris and Katie's, it took him a long time to get there. I remember that. I remember Katie saying could ride his bike to Culver's. Okay. An hour and a half for a 35-minute drive. Thank you.
All right. You would hope they did, right?
I would hope they did their due diligence and followed procedure.
Okay. And so you're at work. Sebastian's with.
See, that's so ridiculous to me that was even said. Well, I hope they know I was at work. The first people they look at is the parents. I would think if you wasn't at work, I don't know. I mean,
his biological mother. Where's the stepdad? Do you know?
Nope. From my understanding, from what I've been told, he was in Mississippi.
In Mississippi.
At the trailer park.
At a trailer park in Mississippi. What was he doing over there?
Supposedly he was working at the St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis.
And guess what? They would absolutely know if he was there or not, right? They would absolutely know if Chris Proudfoot was there or not. They would also be able to see where he and Katie were on the phone for an extended amount of time. Right?
Okay. What does he do?
He's a heavy equipment crane.
And I'm going to tell you guys right now, how fucking weird and how much does it seem like that, I'll never forget Seth making a big to-do going in the parking lot of the police station, making sure the news was there, telling them, find my son. I don't have any more money. Please tell me you guys remember that. You know, what Seth seems to not realize is there were a lot of people who looked at that and really felt like it was more about the money going into your pocket and not necessarily looking for your child. Right? I'm just saying, it was freaking weird. I have kids that live in Clarksville to Hendersonville. We go to Nashville. I know how much time it takes, traffic conditions. I wouldn't get on the interstate there for nothing, traveling from point A, B to C. So you think it was traffic that took him so long to get there? I mean, good of him.
Operator, heavy, yeah, crane operator of some sort.
So he's in Mississippi, allegedly. You're in the jail working on video. Mom's home with your son. So reportedly, she is
okay. So basically, you're saying that a 35-minute drive, it would take another hour and a half. He would be in traffic for over an hour.
the last person to be with your son. Would that be accurate?
That is correct.
Okay. So she's the last one at the house. And what time do you get the text message in the morning?
The message was sent to my phone at like 6:20, but I didn't get it till an hour later when I got off of work.
That is not what he said prior, right? No, oh, you're talking about Chris. Oh, I was talking about Seth. I was talking about Seth leaving work and getting there. So he's saying, so now he's saying 6:20. That's not what he said prior. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Maybe they knew that he was going to get off at 7, right? Chris was there in like 2.5 hours. He beat Seth. Thank you. Thank you, Flies. That's what I was trying to get to. It took Seth a long time to get there. And if the hopes was that they were going to find Sebastian and they knew that he was getting ready to get off work anyway, right? But Seth's not happy with anything.
Okay, so about 07:20 in the morning.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have cell phones in the jail. I mean,
That makes sense.
that's a felony.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I work there. I don't want to stay there.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So you
Well,
see
obviously you didn't stay there, sir. Because you ain't working. Oh, somebody said he was working at a bank. Now he's working at a bank. This is what I don't understand. Okay, this is what I don't understand. Why the fuck are you buffering music? Stop. This is what I don't understand. I forgot what I don't understand. Damn it. Ugh. crazy. Why? Listen to this. Tell me if it makes sense to anyone. Why would a woman and her ex-husband do everything possible to financially, emotionally, physically move an ex-husband to their area, help get him a job so he can be a productive father in his son's life, to then do something to the child. For what reasoning? For what reasoning? Right? I'm sorry. That is out there, right? Oh, Lord. But then again, who knows, right?
The text at 0720 that came in about 6:20 in the morning. And it comes in from the stepfather.
Correct.
And where was he when he sent that text?
I figure he was in Mississippi.
Okay. And how was he notified that Sebastian was missing?
Sebastian's mom.
So she calls him.
That's right.
And
That's
then
her
he
husband.
texts you.
Mm-hmm.
And you go.
Because Katie wanted no communication with you whatsoever. Katie didn't want to talk to you. So, yes, you and Chris Proudfoot seem to be able to communicate better, right? So that is why Katie immediately called her husband, who then texted you. Because, and I seen this in the beginning, whether people think this or not, this is my way of looking at it. Seth was all about going back into the past, okay? He wanted to go back to the past and try to put Katie out there as this awful human being, and you know, he was the perfect dad and blah blah blah, right? May we add that there is an age difference between Seth and Katie. May we add that, right?
Go over to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your visiting agreements and all of the stuff that when you guys had separated, and who gets Sebastian and what day, what times, and shared custody.
It was pretty much joint physical, joint legal custody. We had come that Sebastian would stay with her because at this point in time I was homeless, living in my car in California.
Wait.
And that I would have him every other weekend.
Wait.
And as
how freaking long was he homeless? When did they get divorced? Someone please tell me. When did they get divorced? Sebastian was kind of young, wasn't he? Right? So, Sebastian was 15. Sebastian was 15. Hang on, I'll find out. Only takes a minute. When did and 80. Alfred. Here it is. It has been Googled before. Wait a minute. When does that rhyme, Katie? Proudfoot. Oh, wait, that's the wrong name. Da da da. This says, this is weird. Why does it say that? That can't be right. This says Seth Rogers and Katie Proudfoot was never married to each other. They split up years ago after having their son Sebastian. What? Is that true? That they were never married? Huh. Okay. Well, I thought that they were married. We've seen the paperwork before. That's kind of weird. Let's see if we can word it like this. Yeah. But she was really young. So the exact date or year they originally got together is not publicly documented. Seth Rogers and Katie Proudfoot were previously married. Okay, when's the marriage certificate? Sebastian was born around 2008. 2008. Okay. You could forget the brown suit story with his headache. Oh, the wedding. Yeah, the wedding. Yes, I'm Googling it. I don't have time to go look. I remember seeing all the paperwork. I just can't remember. There were so many different people covering it. I can't remember where I seen it. Yes, I just read that, yes, they are married. Sebastian went missing on the anniversary of the final divorce date. Well, how the fuck did she marry? How did she marry Chris Proudfoot? Oh, the anniversary of. Okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry, it's taken me a minute to get there today. It's been a long time since I've talked about this story for sure. Yeah, I'm Googling shit. I Google shit all the time. I re-Googled it and it said, yes, they were married. It was the anniversary of the, wow. Yeah. He was very upset that Katie left him. He absolutely was.
I've got a place to live. We just kept it like that. If you wanted, we weren't that far apart. I mean, it was like maybe 2 miles. So if Sebastian wanted to come over and use the pool, I don't have a problem coming to get him. It was supposed to be for both of for Sebastian's benefit.
What? Wait, I just got lost. What is he talking about? He was homeless in his car. I'm confused. So now he's talking about a apartment with a pool. See, he wasn't very happy about the place that that Chris Proudfoot's mom had set up for him to stay. He wasn't happy. I guess he felt it wasn't good enough, you know.
And how was he notified that Sebastian was missing?
Sebastian's mom.
So she calls him,
Mhm.
and then he texts you,
Mhm.
and you go over to the house.
Mhm.
Tell us about your visiting agreements and all of the stuff that when you guys had separated, and who gets Sebastian, what day, what times, and shared custody.
It was pretty much joint physical, joint legal custody. We had come that Sebastian would stay with her because at this point in time I was homeless, living in my car in California, and that I would have him every other weekend. And as I've got
Okay, so what he's saying is when this agreement happened, he was living in his car, right? The divorce was finalized in 2017. Thank you, Flies. Thank you, ma'am. So okay.
a place to live, we just kept it like that. If you wanted, we weren't that far apart. I mean, it was like maybe 2 miles. So if Sebastian wanted to come over and use the pool, I don't have a problem coming to get him. It was supposed to be for both of.
Okay, so for some reason, and tell me if I'm wrong, it sounds like he's not discussing what the custody and things were when Sebastian went missing. He's talking about paperwork from years ago, right? So if that paperwork was never changed, and they put forth the effort to bring him over to, their neck of the woods so he could be a father to Sebastian. And don't forget, Katie Proudfoot posted on Facebook, it's been a while back, that she would like someone to come and a couple times a week and hang out with Sebastian. I think until she got home from work or something, right?
For Sebastian's benefit. Then we moved here, and they moved here 4 months after they moved here. I arrived here
That's
in Tennessee
so funny, Blythe.
and started renting where I currently live. And COVID was going on. So if there was an issue at their house, I would get a phone call. They got COVID a couple times. I came and picked up Sebastian. They were doing online school, so he could be here and go to school online through the laptop. And thought everything was going good. I mean,
Wait, I'm confused. Is that before Chris and Katie moved to Nashville? Or wherever they're from, right? Is that before Chris and Katie moved to Hendersonville? Right? When did they? I never heard that they homeschooled him. I must have not kept up with this case for a long time, because I am learning new things for real. Oh, wait, commercial. Oh, this commercial stuff.
When you say they got here, where were they living?
Hell, I'm still trying to take the copyrighted music out of my life from yesterday.
Previous to Tennessee?
California. Yeah.
Is that the San Diego area?
Yeah. Spring Valley, El Cajon. Been to Oceanside a few times.
Yeah, El Cajon is what we used to call it. El Cajon. Yeah, Oceanside, where the debris meets the sea, you know, back in the day. Okay, so was he in the Navy if I remember right?
Yeah, he was in the Navy.
And did he, when did he get out of the Navy? And was Sebastian living with them at the time?
I do not know.
You know, I think it would be only fair to ask those questions to Chris Proudfoot, right?
I don't know when he got out of the Navy.
Okay.
I don't know anything about really his past at all.
Okay. All right. So you get over there at about what time do you arrive at the house?
About 8:20. Took me about an hour to get from DDC to their house.
So about 08:20 in the morning, you're on the scene. And what do you see? What's going on?
Oh, do I have commercials on? I do? Shit. Hang on, I'm going to change that. I don't like to run commercials on. Hang on. Let's see if I can change that. I should be able to. Well, I'm glad you said that. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold the fuck on. Let me see. Live. Bada bing. There you go. All right, hold on. Save. There. No commercials on my end. Let me find out where I was. Okay.
I see a lot of police officers walking around, and I see people.
Yeah, he said he was going to homeschool him. Talked about homeschooling him when he moved in with him, but not when he lived with Chris and Katie. He went to school, I thought.
Pulling drones out of the back of their truck and replacing batteries, and there's dog people there.
Okay. And who contacts you, or who do you contact first?
I just walk in the house.
So you just walked in?
No, Chris is running ads on his. So we don't need double the pleasure for sure.
Into the home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And who was in the home?
There was some law enforcement, and Katie was there, and then there was other individuals there.
Okay. Then what happened?
I walked into Sebastian's room to see what it was looking like, and then introduced myself to people.
Did you make any phone calls to anybody on the way over, or did you just get the text message and shoot on the way over?
Got the text message, made the phone call, found out, got out of the garage, and headed straight there.
What did you find out on the phone call? I'm sorry, I should have asked you that.
He just told me that Sebastian was missing, and the cops and everybody was at the house. And don't be angry.
That what?
Don't be angry. He told me not to be angry.
He told you not to be angry.
Yeah.
Okay. And
well, probably because everybody knows you lose your shit, right?
So,
how'd that make you feel?
Like I said, my son's missing. I'm not angry. I'm panicking. I'm where's my son?
Was he angry?
No.
What was your gut?
He was just reading some information to me. There was no emotion when he talked.
So you get a phone call, or you make a phone call back after you get the text message. Where was he at that time?
From my understanding, he was at St. Jude's Hospital on it.
Well, the thing about it is, Chris Proudfoot drove all the way home all the way home with his wife, probably freaking out. So guess what? It seems to me that in other instances, Chris has had to be the mediator between you and Katie. He's already probably dealing with his wife who is freaking out. So, yeah, I would have probably said, look, don't be pissed off. Let's see if we can find him, with the hopes of finding him, right? I mean, for real.
Memphis.
In Memphis,
Mhm.
still. And Memphis to Nashville is what, 3 hours?
I have no idea because I never really going there wasn't, times that I've been there is after Sebastian missing. And from what he has stated, it's 3 hours and 37 minutes doorstep to doorstep, which whatever. You could never, traffic is always horrible. So you can never judge distance time wise by traffic because of traffic.
Okay. So you're there now at about 0820. You go into the house.
Why are
Do
you
you
the
talk
only
to
one in chat? What happened?
Katie, or do you just go right into his bedroom?
I walk in, Katie, as soon as I came around the corner, Katie saw me and she shoved her phone in my face with a picture.
What happened? Nobody's in chat? Nobody wants to discuss this case? Blythe knows a lot about it. I know she remembers a lot about it. For sure. What is happening? What is going on? Lord. Let me get some of these tabs out of the freaking way. Hold on. What the fuck? Hold on. What happened? Hold on. What the fuck is up? Hang on. There was quite a few people in here. I don't know what happened. Let me pull it up and see. Nope, everything's still the same. Here, I'll put anybody can. All right, let's do it that way. Oh, Jesus. Let me see. Participant, who can send message? Anyone. Hold on. Why wasn't that? Hold on a second. Yes, now I see you guys. Thank you, Maggie, for coming in. Okay, I see ya. All right. That was crazy. That was crazy to me. All right. It should be changed, I hope. I freaking hope. That threw me off really bad because I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? Let me see now. Okay, now I see you. There's Sandy. Hey, Sandy. I mean, I knew I was talking to Flies because Flies remembers a lot about this case, right? Yeah, a lot of people do a lot of other stuff, for sure. I just had to make sure. I had to make sure, y'all. I wasn't sure. It threw me off there. Okay, now I have to find. All right, let's get back here to this. I'm going to reset this. All right. All right. Let's get back to it. We were all watching. She was so busy. I guess I was. That threw me off. Okay, here we go.
Sure, Sebastian, I guess at BJ's, and she was like, we were having a good day. See, he was happy.
We're still carrying the
Okay,
imprints.
so hold
We're still
on.
carrying the wound.
Commercial. Commercial.
And that's all she said?
Yeah.
How did that strike you?
Well, why would my son need to be? Why are you telling me he was happy?
Because obviously he was happy.
What was your feeling when she did that to you? Did you believe her?
No, but she's my ex. I mean, I don't believe a
Wow.
lot that comes out of her.
Wow.
And I mean, sometimes obviously relationships are,
I'm kind of biased.
well,
you
yeah, I
are.
mean, relationships are relationships, right? And some, humans are human. But in this situation, how was she reacting to the fact that you're there now? He's missing.
It
Her
almost
husband.
felt like
Go ahead.
she wanted me
Oh
to
my God.
understand that he was happy, so he had no reason to leave. So I wouldn't like be mad at her.
Okay. Was it her impression that he left?
She's the one that was saying he walked out that door.
All right. So
She
you
had
go
already- She had already reported him as a runaway.
that morning.
Yeah, when she called him up.
Have you heard any of the 911 calls?
No,
Why not?
Have you heard any of the non-emergency call
I've heard
about?
the dispatch call.
And tell me about that.
Oh, thank you, Barbara, for the
They were looking for
jewels.
Sebastian. They were
Thank
thinking
you.
that he had just ran away from the house and that he would be seen in the neighborhood.
Okay. And what kind of job does she do?
She installs cameras and security cameras and stuff for businesses and residential, from my understanding.
And did she have a security system in the home?
Are you
I had been
going,
told
Miss
before that they had a
Justice?
camera in the kitchen. That's what Chris had told me. I know that there was an ADT sign outside, but I don't pay attention to cameras. I'm around
Sure.
cameras all the time. I mean, and obviously I'm not up to no good, so I really don't pay attention to cameras.
Got it. No question. No problem.
Big Brother's always watching us from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the 21st century, right?
Well, he's got
Right.
a little
No
more
flying cars, but we got
sophisticated.
eyes everywhere. But we can't find my son.
Pretty soon we'll all be the Jetsons. There won't be a question about that one day. But
Then we'll be the Flintstones again.
yes, I know, right? So she works for a security company that installs security systems.
Correct.
I agree, Miss Justice.
Have you, at the time that day, and since that time, do you know now, 2.5 years later, if they had a security system operational in their home?
I do know that shortly after Sebastian went missing, that they upgraded their system.
Okay, so they upgraded it. Do you think that he has a right to know what is on Katie's security cameras if there was a security camera? Right? Why was there video? Okay, let me ask you guys this. Wasn't there video of Sebastian taking out the trash? Right? There was a video of him taking out the trash, right? He took the trash out, I thought, and they had video of that. Oh, we're not being judgmental, Barbara. We're just talking about things that he has said prior. Don't care if you like him. Don't care if you don't like him. And yes, he is a parent of a missing child. The neighbor's camera got him taking out the trash.
So they upgraded it after he went missing.
Mm-hmm. Now, that mean
Do you also feel that way about Katie Proudfit too, Barbara? Do you feel that way about Katie too? I'd rather not pick a side over here, but I'm saying what Seth has said. Absolutely. The words have coming out of his ownest mouth.
you don't, there's a difference. To me, verbiage is everything. There's a difference between install a system and upgrade a system. And Chris has stated that they upgraded their system, which means, to me, they just better cameras, maybe microphones, speakers. I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
I don't
Okay,
know.
They didn't have no choice. Your crazy YouTube friend was stalking them. There were people coming to their home. There were people who were threatening them. Did you help that situation any, Seth? I don't know. That's a question you need to answer. But yeah, I would have too.
Security systems.
So she shows,
Barbara, no. You're not going to do that over here, Barbara. Hell fuck no. Don't come over here asking me to take it easy on Seth because Katie's guilty. That is not what we do over here. And I knew you were going to say that. That is why the teacher asked you that question. Lord Jesus, take the wheel, Barbara. I knew it. I knew what your answer was going to be before you even said it. Yes, Dolly fell asleep. Yes, Dolly fell asleep. Hey, I'm not saying that Katie, is this angel. Nobody's saying that. For sure. I ain't heard law enforcement say he's not a person of interest. And how do you know, Barbara, that she is not trying to find her son? Maybe she just ain't out here talking shit. Don't be stalking her, Barbara. That would be the only way that Katie Proudfoot is not looking for her son. That would be the only way. For real. Well, we're not talking about you, Maggie. Really, Maggie? That is so cool. Are you really in Switzerland? I'm not. Okay, Barbara. All right. All right, Barbara. All right. We're good, Barbara. We're good. Sorry I did that. I just thought it was necessary to prove a point. I apologize. Maybe she wasn't waiting for a YouTube creator to film her searching. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, she's saying Switzerland is neutral. Damn, Maggie, I thought you lived in Switzerland. I got all excited about that. I was like, I got somebody from Switzerland in my chat. That is so funny, Maggie. Oh, gosh, I'm so glad I can laugh at myself. I'd be angry all the time if I couldn't laugh at myself. Oh, God. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Flies, for putting Sebastian's Facebook page and stuff up there.
a picture of him in his pajamas. Did she say
No,
anything?
he was in regular everyday clothes.
Regular everyday clothes. So she had a
They were at
photo.
BJ's.
I'm sorry?
They were at BJ's, which is like a Sam's Club.
Yeah. So she took a picture of him at a
table
at a big box store.
Yeah.
She say why she needed to take that picture at a big box store?
No.
Whenever you took him to like BJ's or Costco or anything like that, do you photograph him?
No.
No, Seth just tried to hook him up on dates, right? He didn't need to take a picture of him. He would get some girl and he'd be like, come over here and check my son out, right? I'm not going to show you a picture. I have him sitting right here. And, you know, you come and check my son out. I will give you his phone number, right? That's what he did. Yes, Sandy, he did that. He did. For real. That's what he said. Yeah, to an overnight waitress at the Waffle House. You know, good things don't happen at the Waffle House. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not trying to be mean about Waffle House employees because there are good employees at the Waffle House. But a lot of them, yeah, they're on work release programs. I am not lying. I am not lying. They're on work release. For real. I ain't saying that, you know, the girl that got Sebastian's phone number was, but I'm just saying.
But for some reason, she had that photograph. Did she say when it was taken?
Well, from her, what she was implying, look, I took, you know, I have a picture. He was happy. She was implying that she had just taken it before he went missing, which to me, I meant would have been Sunday, but from what I understand now was Saturday, supposedly.
Okay. So she has a photograph of him at a big box store, and that is a proof of life that he was happy.
I'll make you a bet.
Why? Because Seth kept trying to make it out like that Sebastian wasn't happy living with her. For real.
About his state of mind and potentially the clothing that he was wearing.
At that time. Now there's, at that time. There's the Texas Roadhouse.
I have a question. When was the last time before Sebastian went missing that Seth had a conversation with him? How long before he went missing did Seth have a conversation with Sebastian? Remember, they talked about a conversation being had at Chris and Katie's where they talked about Sebastian going and living with Seth. And Sebastian said he did not want to do that. Okay.
House, which law enforcement did show me him leaving the building and getting in her vehicle, which that was Sunday. And I have video and pictures from the bowling alley, which was prior to them going to Texas Roadhouse, that the owner of the bowling alley gave me.
Sounds to me like law enforcement was allowing him to see those videos and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen all of that, and that, but I'm curious as to
oh, really?
what your reaction was when you saw the picture.
So he changed weekends? Isn't that interesting? Barbara, did you know that? Barbara doesn't like me. Barbara, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Ask anybody in chat. I am just, girl, I have resting bitch voice. I do. I did not mean to hurt your feelings. I really didn't, Barbara. Come back, Barbara. Come on back, girl.
Of him at BJ's. And so at that point, you go into his bedroom. What drove you into his bedroom right away?
It's the last place he was supposedly at. This was before the proof of life from Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
And it's where Katie said he was at. So I walked in there.
All right.
Was
What
he
did you
bed
see?
made?
The room was messed up, But what kind of caught me off guard was, the phone's plugged in the kitchen. The PlayStation 4 is sitting on the dresser, but there's no TV for him to use it, and his Switch is plugged in at the wall.
What?
Sure, of him at BJ's. And so at that point, you go into his bedroom. What drove you into his bedroom right away?
It's the last place he was supposedly at. This was before the proof of life from Texas Roadhouse,
Okay.
and it's where Katie said he was at. So I walked in there.
All right. What did you see?
The room was messed up, but what kind of caught me off guard was, the phone's plugged in the kitchen. The PlayStation 4 is sitting on the dresser, but there's no TV for him to use it, and his Switch is plugged in at the wall.
Did you ask Katie? Was Sebastian in trouble? Did he get in trouble? Maybe got his device taken away or something? Because Katie only allows him to do games and stuff before, she didn't let him stay on games and shit all the time. She only allowed him, so much, gaming and stuff, right? Yes, and the cops did search the room before Seth got there. Absolutely.
So what was your impression?
Why would knowing that my son isn't allowed to have his phone in his room at their house, why would she allow the Switch? That kind of caught me off guard. I mean, at my house, yeah,
Maybe it was just easier for her just to unplug the damn TV than to keep unplugging the system every time, right?
Sebastian's TV, his Switch, plug in for his phone, plug in for the tablet, if he ever, all that's in his room. It's his responsibility if he wants to keep it charged so he can play it or not. But she always, he's not allowed to have electronics. He's grounded. They took the TV out. Why is the Switch in there? If he was grounded from electronics and stuff, why can't have his phone plugged in where he can hear it if it rings or whatnot, but it just caught me off guard.
Well, I would say that's just Katie. The Switch doesn't really turn off. It goes into sleep mode. Yeah, but let me ask you this, Mr. Nobody. Wouldn't it be easier to just unplug your damn TV than to turn the switch off? And what if they lose something, right? Katie said they didn't have Wi-Fi, I thought. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. For sure. In my opinion, Katie left on a vacation. Where did she go on vacation at, Barbara? Where did Katie go on vacation at? I believe that Chris Proudfoot's family, his mom and I believe stepdad, had prior commitments in Hawaii, but Katie didn't go to Hawaii. Right? Am I wrong? Okay, I know with her husband. Cheesy wheeze, Barbara, come on. She went to eat steak. That's a vacation for me. A vacation from cooking. Absolutely. And I'm going to say this, Barbara. Fuck yeah, she's going to leave her house. She had crazy YouTubers coming up there. She had people threatening her life. So absolutely, she doesn't want to stay there by herself. I get it.
Walk me through when you would go pick him up on your days of visitation and you guys get to hang out. Tell me about how that routine takes place.
I have him on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on my weekend. So that means I'd get off of work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd go home, take a shower, try to get some sleep, and then I would drive back. Sebastian would get off the bus at 3 o'clock, and I'd be waiting in the driveway. Sebastian would go in, do whatever chores his mom wanted him to do.
Nice.
Before then, he would come out, jump in the truck, and we'd head to Clarksville. You know, if he was hungry, we'd stop and get something to eat beforehand, unless he wanted, depending on what he wanted. If he wanted chicken fillet, that's extra 11. If he wanted to sit down and eat, then we figure out what we're going to do then. You know, it also depend on if there was any tournaments or anything going on with Magic. You know, if we had a D&D session about to happen, you know, if we were going to go fishing.
What the fuck's a D&D? A D&D? What is a D&D session? I know he's not talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Please tell me he is not talking about a Dungeon and Dragon session. No fucking way, Mr. Nobody. He had Sebastian doing that shit? Are you kidding me? No way. I already said him allowing. No, I don't want to hear it's just a game. Crazy people play that game. Ain't you ever seen the movie? The true story where the freaking guy goes crazy and, you know, he's really the, you know, whatever, goes around unaliving people. Holy moly. For real. Damn, I said him allowing Sebastian. Him allowing Sebastian to use his grown-up accounts to play games with grown-up people. Flies. What was it that he said? Oh, didn't he say something like, I showed Sebastian what being really made bloody looks like? Something like that. Some people are just fucking crazy, Mr. Nobody. They don't believe it's made up. They think the shit's real. Didn't Hunter's dad into that? I doubt it, Rena. I doubt it. I don't think he is. I don't think he's smart enough to play that game. I mean, I know crazy people play it, but you still got to be a little bit intelligent. I shouldn't have said that. That was really mean. My boys play with. It's how they socialize. I didn't say all of them were fucking crazy, all right? Not at all. I did not say they were all fucking Looney Tunes. But it does happen. I'm just saying.
What is Magic?
Magic the Gathering. It's a CCG, it's a collectible card game, kind of like Pokemon, but it came out before Pokemon.
Oh,
Okay,
a card game.
7.
So you'd be out waiting for the bus to arrive. The bus would arrive. He'd get off the bus. And
Hey, remember when they talked about that for like Christmas and stuff, that Seth was taking Sebastian to do stuff that he wanted to do and Sebastian didn't like it? That had to do with Star Wars. That had to do with Star Wars. All right, hang on a second, you guys. Okay, let me get my hairpiece in again. I think Barbara is calling when Katie went with Chris when he went back to work. Yeah, he went back to work. That's not a vacation. Yeah, she didn't take a vacay. Lordy, Barbara. Well, Barbara thought it was a vacation, so I'm not going to take that away from her if she thinks that.
And would you greet each other?
Well, he'd see me, I'd wave, but his first thing is to go in to the house, put his backpack up unless he's got homework, and take care of his chores. Because the sooner he's done feeding and watering and changing, the dog pee pads or whatever, and whatever else his mom wanted him to do, the sooner we can get out of there.
Whenever you would pull up before the bus would arrive, would you have any interaction with your ex?
Most times she wasn't there. She was at work.
All right. Typically the days you would go.
Wait, why would Katie, knowing he was coming with you waited outside, but okay, weird.
That's about to happen. If we were going to go fishing.
What is Magic?
Magic the Gathering. It's a CCG, it's a collectible card game, kind of like Pokemon, but it came out before Pokemon.
Okay.
Came out in 97.
So you'd be out waiting for the bus to arrive. The bus would arrive. He'd get off the bus. And would you greet each other?
Well, he'd see me, I'd wave, but his first thing is to go in to the house, put his backpack up unless he's got homework, and take care of his chores. Because the sooner he's done feeding and watering and changing, the dog pee pads or whatever, and whatever else his mom wanted him to do, the sooner we can get out of there.
Whenever you would pull up before the bus would arrive, would you have any interaction with your ex?
Most times she wasn't there. She was at work.
All right. Typically.
So now he's saying that Sebastian was coming home and allowed to be by himself, right? Dahlia done drove through the neighborhood at that time. Yeah, Dolly falling asleep behind the wheel. That was a fucking trip. Magic is nothing like Pokemon. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Nobody. And if it came out in 97, do you really think, I wonder if Sebastian was really even interested in that stuff, right? Like him for holidays taking Sebastian to the new Star Wars movie. I remember that.
The days you would go pick him up, he would go into the home by himself.
Yeah.
And what would he come out with?
If he had homework, he'd come out with his backpack and he'd come out with his cell phone.
All right. And
so why is he taking his backpack in the house to start with? Right? Kind of, okay. All right, I get it.
anything else? Any other items?
Sometimes he'd have some Legos in his pocket or something.
Okay. So you're a Lego dad, huh?
He's a Lego kid, and I buy him Legos all the time. To me, they're small little miniature puzzles. So it's like, I like to buy the individual ones for him, and then he can put one together, or I can help him put one together. It's just something for us to do, and then we put them up on a shelf and let him collect those.
I want to see them. I want to see those Legos. Wouldn't it be interesting? I really would. I want to see the Legos that they put together.
That's cool. What you say he has maybe some chores and stuff. Was he on routines?
I mean, I guess when he gets off the bus, he's got things he's got to do before his mom gets home.
Okay. Would the step?
That's kind of normal, I think, right?
Dad be home at any time, and would you see him
every once in a while?
And what were those interactions like?
Hi, how you doing? Cordial. I mean,
what if you could make a song using only your voice?
Commercial. Well, you don't want me to use my voice and make a song. I cannot sing.
As long as my son is being taken care of and being treated, and I don't have a problem with anybody. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was going on until afterwards.
Okay, and we'll get into that. We'll head to that. So his routine then, would he have left his cell phone?
No, there's been times that he's gotten into the truck and was like, "Do you have your cell phone?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And then he doesn't. And then he has to go in and find it. And it's
Okay.
like, you got to have your cell phone.
So he had
So
his
you
cell phone at your house.
You would
Because-
remind you.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have your cell phone because if your mom's trying to get a hold of you, she's not going to call me. She's going to call your cell phone.
Had there ever been a time where he had forgotten his cell phone?
No.
All right. Was there ever a time where you would get a phone call from, I guess I'll call her Katie, and
Katie.
she would, huh?
I said, that's her name, Katie.
Okay. And was there ever a time where Katie would call you to tell you certain things about him?
She would call me and let me know what was going on with school, doctor's appointments, things like that. Or I'd get a text
Wow.
message. Most of the time it was a text message.
And how were those interactions?
Oh, sounds like then that she was communicating with you and keeping you posted on him, right?
Brief.
Were you ever asked to intervene in terms like rides to the doctor?
Yeah, there's some badass Legos now. You can get the flowers, the ones you put together, bonsai trees. They have some really, really badass Legos.
Or
Oh yeah, it's
school?
Sebastian. Well, that's one of the reasons why I work night shift. She works during the day, I work during the night. So if there's a doctor's appointment, I'll take him.
All right. Yeah. Now walk me through the type.
What? Why is he changing his tune all of a sudden? Right?
Type of does he need medications?
She has him on medications. She had him on medication to help him sleep. She had him on a medication to help him focus in school. And most of the time when they give you those,
He's
they also give you,
autistic.
other medication because of the side effects from other medications.
All right. Do you know if he took medication the night he allegedly walked out of the house?
I don't.
Has anybody asked that question?
I have.
And what answer did you get?
My question was, did you look at his medicine and count it?
And
the detective was like, why would I do that?
so you asked the question and the response was, why would I do that?
Yes.
Okay, I understand that. Because I asked that question in the Nancy Guthrie case, right? She was on medication. Did they count the medication? And I can see what Seth's getting at. If he had taken his so-called night medicine, which should have made him tired, how the fuck did he get up and walk out the front door? So I get what he's asking. Do you really think that he said that to a detective and the detective did not at some point look at his medication? Right? Okay.
And so that's a sleeping medication. And then it sounds like he has the other side of that, because one is a depressant, obviously, but meaning not for depression, but it makes you sleepy. And that's would be a classification. And the other one,
he's got one to help him sleep at night, and the other one is so he can focus while he's at school.
right. So that would be a stimulant of some sort. So they call that the synergistic effect. One pulls you up, one pulls you down.
It's and any person with ADHD or autism functioning wise, we know what that is. I remember as a kid being on one and then the other one.
Okay. Have the authorities?
So he's saying he was autistic. When have you guys heard him say he was autistic? Have you guys ever heard Seth say he was autistic and took medication when he was younger? Wow.
Please check with the pharmacies to see if any of those medications have been filled since he's been missing.
Do not know. I do know that I used his insurance information and contacted them to see if anything had been processed, and that was nothing's been processed under his name and insurance. So if
Okay. All right. So you were able to access that, right? Right.
getting any of his medications wherever he's at, it's either going to be facility issued or somebody's paying for it without using insurance, or he's not paying.
So when you say facility issue, we'll get to that in a bit here, because there's a possibility, you believe, that if he is alive, he could be in a medical facility of some sort.
I believe he's alive. I just got to find out where he's at. It could be in a facility. It could be in a boys' home. It could be walking on the streets, not knowing, what's going on. Just lost.
Okay, so I remembered when, I think it was on, what's her name? The girl, Cluminati, said that somebody had sent her an email that had spoke about Sebastian being sent to one of those boy camps. I'll say boy camps or juvenile camps, right? That came out a long time ago. So I don't believe, this is the thing, why would Katie and Chris help this guy to be a, prominent father figure, make sure that this guy has what he needs to be a good father, and they would send him away at the last minute? It's just, I don't know. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they have just, Katie did not want Sebastian, to go live with Seth. That was Chris who was thinking more along those lines, because Chris had a daughter that he was trying to get visitation of, and there was an issue with Sebastian.
Lost.
So in one of your thought processes,
That's
then, and
what
keep me
Seth
straight here,
said.
is that if he voluntarily walked out of that house, somehow, some way, an authority of sort put him into a facility.
State agency didn't bother to call me, dude.
Okay.
Literally. So anything's possible.
No, I
Anything's
understand.
possible, because I've seen some of the impossibilities, things that shouldn't have happened through procedures and protocols happen on this.
Now, this is the sad thing about it, you guys. The possibility that happened. He needs to be checking in every state. Okay? He needs to be using his time to contact every state, hospitals, mental facilities, the whole shit and caboodle. Send them Sebastian's picture. Tell them he is missing. Tell them he is autistic. He needs to do that. Or his team that he has should be putting that as a priority if he believes that. Because the possibility that Sebastian could have been taken, but then maybe he got away, and, could be homeless. And I hate to say that. This child at 15 years old could be in a position where he is homeless out there somewhere. And he just don't know how to get home. So yes, Seth, get busy, man. Get busy. You or get your team to start sending photos of your son to everywhere. Everywhere. I'm just saying.
Right. But we have an 8-hour window here.
Mm-hmm.
And in that 8 hours, I don't think anybody is working to come over to the house and say, okay, you're coming with us. Or at 3 o'clock in the morning, the law enforcement, if they would have run into him, would have obviously made a phone call to next of kin and said, hey, we have your son here. He's on this, whatever. We're going to take him into protective custody right now. because they would have had to been notified, Chris and Katie, right away. And then, of course, you being the biological father, and if you have
I hope
joint
they
custody,
notify me if they find my son.
well,
I mean-
no, but what I mean by that, Seth, is, obviously they still have to find, or they have to follow that protocol. And if they don't follow that protocol, then they're breaking the law. And, that's a no-brainer. So which goes back to, this is on the pretense or the pretext that he voluntarily walks out of the house. That's one theory.
Correct.
Okay. And within that theory, your belief system is it possible he could have been picked up by somebody or, by an authority of some sort, because somebody in authority would have had to have the ability to say, okay, I am custodial guardian over this child who is in, the mental capacity that he is in. So
Right.
therefore, I'm going to tell you, this young man is going to go in this facility and we're going to keep it quiet. It has to be somebody in authority. And typically it has to be a court order type of authority situation, unless it's a violent situation where, the biological parents, and you being one of them, you would have to make that decision as a legal custodial guardian. The cops can't make that decision, nor can Child Protective Service. CPS can't make that decision either. There has to be a whole workup from the court that says, okay, go get that kid. Okay, and the state's going to take custody of that child, and we're going to start making decisions for that child.
Correct.
Which leads now into theory number 2. All right, that's theory number 1, where you believe, you're hoping, you're praying, and I'm praying with you. Either way, if that's your belief system, and then I'm sticking with your concepts. But belief system number 2 now would be, you go in the room, his switch is
I agree, Carolyn.
there, but his TV's not. To your point, what good is the switch if there's no TV to watch it on?
Well, the Switch is a handheld gaming device.
Okay, so it's a handheld one.
Right. The PlayStation 4 that's on the dresser, there's no TV next to it. That's why they left it there. I mean, Chris, he told me, he was like, I took the TV and I put it in my camper. And Chris was
Okay.
gone already. So they left the PlayStation there because he didn't have a TV to play on it.
Okay, so where's that TV now?
I don't know. I know Chris said that he took it from there and put it in his RV.
All right, and
Okay, Chris needed a TV. They had another TV, so maybe she was allowing Sebastian to hook his gaming system up and play it every once in a while. And then, he would take it back into his room when he was done playing with it.
So it was in his RV, which meant that the TV would be in Mississippi with Chris.
so any reason why he took it out of?
Sebastian got in trouble.
I'm sorry.
Chris told me Sebastian got in trouble, so he took the TV from him.
Okay, so his punishment was, I'm taking the TV and putting it in the camper, and he took the camper
For
to
what?
Mississippi.
For work.
Why? Why did he tell you he got in trouble, right? The TV can sometimes get online. Was that checked? I don't know. I don't know.
How long before this occurred did that happen?
At least a month.
So about a month earlier.
Mhm.
Did you see your son in between that or during that month?
I did.
And did he mention it?
No.
He didn't say anything about it.
Didn't say anything about it. But
Did he? Go ahead.
he's coming home. He's coming here. And it's like, I've already, his mom didn't want him bringing the Switch to my house. You can have the Switch when you're at their house, because she didn't want it to get broke or damaged or anything else. So I turned around and went and bought Sebastian a Switch at my house.
Well, good for
And
you.
he's got a PlayStation 3 and a TV already in his room. So when he's coming here, anything that he doesn't get to do there, he's going to get to do here. The only electronic he has to bring from their house is his phone.
Now, right? Does he have a brand new one waiting on him? Because you were complaining that they had your devices and your gaming system. So why didn't they take Sebastian's too? Didn't you make enough that you got a new gaming system and everything? So, I mean, if law enforcement gave yours back, then I'm sure that Sebastian has a system all, together for when he gets back. Because I remember Uncle Taco saying that Sebastian used to have to come into his room and shut the door to have a conversation that maybe he didn't want his dad to hear. Okay? Uncle Taco said that. So, which is it?
Okay, so walk me through why that's important to him.
He likes the game. I mean, he enjoys gaming. He likes playing video games. He can sit there until the batteries die and then plug it in and still continue to play it. If it wasn't for sleep, in school, he likes playing video games and watching movies. When he's here at the house, he would literally be in the living room sometimes, curled up in the recliner, playing on a Switch and watching, Netflix. Normally some Batman animation or Spider-Man. He's watching cartoons and playing video games.
He strikes me as a very sweet, innocent young
He
man.
does.
Am I off base there?
No.
And it looks like he has a very soft heart.
It does. Sebastian, absolutely. And I'll pull his picture up here in a minute. Sebastian absolutely just looks like he is just the sweetest kid. And, he loved his snakes and his animals and stuff like that. So that's what they called him, Miss Justice, Uncle Taco. I know, because I messed up and called him Uncle Nacho. And it's not, it's Uncle Taco. For real. Because see, Uncle Taco, out of the kindness of his heart, he was taking care of quite a few of his own grandchildren. And, he didn't have the money to go be with Seth, to help Seth look. He didn't have the money to do that. Right? It was weird.
Towards animals.
He loves animals.
Now, walk us through that. Tell us a little bit about Sebastian and his love of animals.
When we lived in California, we had a bearded dragon by the name of Goose.
That's like a iguana, right?
Smaller version, but yeah, it's a lizard, but it's a bearded dragon. And we would literally sit there after we rescued it. It had calcium deficiencies and stuff like that. So we got it in a new cage. We sit there and we're feeding the crickets. We have to, mix everything together. I mean, we rescued it and it was about yay long. And I would say 6 months later, it was from my arm to about here, from my finger to here. I mean, it got big. But it would sit there literally on his shoulder or my shoulder while we're on the couch watching TV or playing video games. I mean, I like Goose.
Yeah, bearded dragons are pretty cool, I must say.
Just run around the house during the day. And he would climb up on the couch and watch TV if nobody was watching it,
What, Carolyn? What? What did Katie Proudfoot say about her son? That she shouldn't be saying things like that. Oh. Why you gotta say that, Carolyn? Now you're gonna make me say that, in my opinion, a daddy shouldn't have been said the things he was saying about his son. All right, the game is on. Tell me. You tell me what Katie said about him, and I'll tell you what his daddy said about him. For real. You want me to go first? Actually, no, honestly, I'm just being an asshole. But anyhow, honestly, Katie never came out publicly and said one word to Seth until Seth decided he was going to come out on a YouTube channel and speak on, let's say, a lot of nasty things concerning his son. Right? Nasty things. I got it, Sandy. I got a new ruler. It's invisible. You won't even see it coming when I smack your damn knuckles with it. I've got it here somewhere. I just had to find where it's at. It's, you guys, I am not going to say I got all these freaking notes, but I have so many notes on the Summer Wells case, and my ruler is actually in one of the book of notes. So I have to go through all my notes to find it. That he had a big, you know why. What? Is that what you heard? Katie said he had a big, you know what? Why would she do that? Or are you talking about Carolyn? That stuff came from Seth. Please tell me where that is at. I want to hear it. I want to hear that, lady. Please, where do I find it? If he did meet someone in the game, that could happen. You would have to get Nintendo and Sony to check his account activity and interactions. You know, that is real good too, Mr. Nobody. But he was using Seth's account. While he was at Seth's, he was using Seth's account. Right? So that is, yeah.
Sebastian has always loved animals. He loves cats. He likes dogs. He got bit in the face by a dog, 7 stitches, and still not scared of him. Like literally got out of the emergency room and went back in and wanted to go right back for the dog to give the dog a hug because he already forgave the dog.
Tell me about these puppies here.
Those are Morkies. I believe they are Katie's. Those are the dogs that were living there when Sebastian went missing.
Okay. And what about looks like a snake?
The python, that was, that I believe, if I remember correctly, I think that's his snake that was Brownie that he was raising.
Okay. And where were these photographs taken? Do you know?
Well, the top, if you go scroll all the way to the top.
Why did Sebastian have to get rid of these snakes? Well, see, Mr. Nobody, the one that he had at Katie's, well, they did take it. They took all the devices. Seth said they took all the devices, right? And they kept them for a while. So they had to have really been looking into people on, you know, Seth's account that had access to Sebastian because they kept those devices for a while, right? Oh my God, there's Renee Marie. How do you, Renee? So Chris made him get rid of his snake. I have a question for Seth. Since him and Chris, you know, were negotiating Sebastian going and living with Seth, did Seth say he would allow Sebastian to bring his snake? I'm messing with you, Renee Marie. Lord have mercy. Why does everybody think that I'm a bitch? I mean, no, don't answer that. Please don't answer that. I already know the answer to that. Renee, like, Chris said it, not me. Calm down, girl. I know you type in capital letters. All right, I know that. Don't answer, Marie. That is so funny. Don't answer it, girl. I don't want to hear the answer. You don't have to tell me why you think I'm a bitch. I already know. There's a whole fucking book on me about being a bitch. It's on chapter 5, okay? 3rd paragraph from the bottom. I'm messing with you, Renee. Lord have mercy. You guys. It's called the truth. Okay, so what, Carolyn? I didn't say she wasn't saying the truth. Or real. I just asked a question. Did Seth say that Sebastian could bring the snake with him? I just think it's an important question. All right? I ain't saying that Chris did not say what you're saying he said, or do what he did that you're saying he did. I'm just asking if it was already planned out that Sebastian was going to go live with Seth, did Sebastian okay, forget the snake, damn it. Forget the freaking snake. Quite a few cases where people was grabbed and found in the same town, held captive for years. Well, and that's interesting too, Mr. Nobody, because if Sebastian did go out of the house to play flashlight tag or whatever the case may be, right? Who's to say that, and I'm not saying that, I'm not naming anybody, okay? But who's to say Sebastian didn't go out there? They were playing around. There was a lot going on in that neighborhood, right? And what if he got hurt? And maybe one of the kids, maybe they roughhoused accidentally or something. And, a parent wasn't like, oh my God, you were out here at 3 o'clock in the morning. This kid got hurt. And now here comes CPS on us. They're going to take you away from me. And the parent doesn't help maybe cover something up a little bit. I'm not saying that happened, but hey, you never know for sure. Yeah, the 3 ladies in Cleveland, for real. Well, Carolyn, he lived in a different state, so I doubt if law enforcement talked to Uncle Taco. But I don't know. They may have.
I can tell. That one's from school, the top one. The second one is in Chris and Katie's house. That's them in the living room in front of the grandfather clock. That one right there was taken in their kitchen. That one right there, I'd say, was taken in Katie's vehicle. That one right there was taken in their house. And that one right there was taken when he needed a new pair of glasses. And Katie was sending me pictures because he wanted my opinion on the glasses.
What was your opinion?
They made it that they're bigger than his face. But if he likes them, then he can wear them. I mean,
that's a cute kid right there, man. Good for you.
Yeah, he is a cute
Good
kid.
for you. So
he really is. I'm going to show you guys the pictures real quick. I think it's important. Sebastian is a good looking kid. He really is. And the sad thing about it is I think we just got into the drama of it, right? It was like Seth just brought this big unnecessary drama into Sebastian going missing. We all seen almost the same thing happening in the Summer Wells case. The only difference was Seth wasn't going to share his money with anybody, right? Dawn and Candace, they were just yeah, we got money or whatever. Seth was like, no, I want all the money to myself. Well, I mean, Katie's broken too. And I don't, I don't understand how just because Seth is out here putting himself out there, right? I'm not saying Katie's not doing the same thing. Maybe she's just not doing it like Seth is, right? I mean, seriously. For real. Hold on.
That's a cute kid right there, man. Good for you. So you're at the house.
Exploited.
You're in the bedroom. Things are they clicking for you, or are you getting any feelings either way?
I don't like the situation. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I mean, the fact is, I walked in and nobody was on the same page. I shouldn't have been able to actually come even into the front yard without somebody stopping to ask my identification first. And
what? So, what? You shouldn't even have been allowed to come in the front yard of Chris and Katie's house unless they got your identification first. Okay.
And I stopped and talked to the dog people first, and they didn't even ask me who I was. I walked up. I was like, "Hey, are your dogs tracking dogs? Are they going off of scent? What is your dog's purpose?" I was picking up information.
So you pulled up, and the authority.
He never said that before.
These are there at that time.
Yeah, they're everywhere in the house. They're nowhere in there. I think there might have been one in the front, except for the dog person, but there was nobody. Nothing was cordoned off. They weren't stopping anybody from just walking in. Neighbors and stuff were coming in and out, bringing food.
But when you say bringing food, what do you mean?
The neighbors were cooking food because Sebastian was missing, and they didn't hear. You don't need to be cooking anything. We brought you something.
What? What the fuck? That ain't what you said, Seth. That ain't what you said. You said that they were coming over, trying to share with them any camera evidence or whatever. Now it's they were bringing food.
Oh, okay. So, but right when you get there,
within a half a fucking hour, the whole neighborhood's cooking breakfast, right? Is that what you're saying? Oh my gosh.
Are the neighbors there too, or is just the law enforcement authorities and the canine?
Law enforcement. There was a couple other people in Katie.
Okay. Where's Katie?
Katie was when I saw Katie, she was standing next to the wall showing me her picture. And then afterwards, she went and sat down on the couch. She pretty much stayed on the couch, or she was sitting in the dining room table.
And what was her reaction?
No, Katie was upset, and you had to make a fucking comment about the picture that she was trying to pull up to give detectives that they can fucking use. And you came in with fucking attitude. That's what I remember. I wasn't there, but in my mind, I don't know. I see it, right?
In your opinion?
She was just crying.
She's what?
Crying.
Okay. How did that strike you?
I'm a guy. I'm wanting to find my son. So I didn't stay there very long. I turned around, assessed the situation, and walked out.
Mr. Nobody, didn't the girl that Ernie and her dad was doing that messed up stuff, she was fine. She was like, I'll go back when I'm 18. She left home and didn't want to go back till she was 18. I think she was already like 17 or something, right?
Out to go to the command center and get more information because they were already setting up the command center, and I was driving around looking for my son.
Did anybody approach you at any time and say, "Who are you"?
One of the law enforcement agents, I told them who I was.
And then what happened?
They advised us to stay at the house, and I pretty much told them where they could. My son's missing. I'm going to go look for my son.
Where were you going to go?
Drive around. They told, when I told them I was going to go look for my son, they were, if you're not going to listen to us, then if you're going to drive around, stay in your vehicle, stay on the roads, and don't go walking through the woods. Well, I don't know the area, so I'm not going to go walking through the woods unless I got people with me. So I drove around on every road with my screaming Sebastian's name.
Well, that sounds like a, that sounds like a good, cause right there, right?
Screaming into the woods, waiting to see if I could hear anything back.
Yes, yes, Mr. Nobody.
Driving every 20 or 30 feet and then stopping and, seeing if I hear anybody scream and hollering for Sebastian.
Did you take anybody with you?
I don't have anybody to take with me. I mean, my son is the person that rides with me in my truck.
Sure. Did Katie want to go?
No.
Did you ask?
No.
Okay. And how long do you think you drove around?
I was on and off again, driving around, then going back to the house to see if there was any information. So I would drive around for an hour, hour and a half, and then I would drive back to the house to see if there was any new information. And then I'd go to the command center and find out if there was any more information. And that's pretty much what I did for 8 days.
Okay. And during that,
no, you didn't. We know what you was doing for 8 days. It was all over YouTube.
I would leave Hendersonville at like 11 o'clock at night, drive home to Clarksville, get up at 3 and drive back down.
With missing children, you have a
What are you talking about, Carolyn? I just want to know how they stay alive. But if someone had to take them food and water, but I'm going to look for that. Thank you. Oh, are you talking about? Yeah, people taking food and water for sure.
3-hour window. Statistically.
Right.
And so you're already behind the 8 ball by about 5 hours.
At the bare minimum.
Right. At the bare minimum. Providing,
He is. Seth is behind at 8 hours. If you go by what Katie says, well, no, about 6, right? Oh, yeah, that's what I figured, Sandy. I figured that out.
Historically, the story is, partially true.
Providing accurate information, yes.
Right. And so you're looking now and you come back, and I just want to stay on the first day. I don't want to get into any of the other stuff yet.
I came back to the house probably 3 or 4 times.
Right. And what was the vibe going on there within you, within the authority, from what you could tell from the authorities, and within Katie?
As the day proceeded, I mean, everybody pretty much, all the law enforcement people pretty much emptied out of the house. There was one guy sitting at the dining room table. Katie was pretty much on the couch rocking back and forth crying. And then, I mean, because I left there at, I want to say, I left there at like 1:30, 2 o'clock was when law enforcement asked me to drive home, and they wanted to follow me to my house here in Clarksville. And they wanted to know the route that I would take to get home. So I told them it just really kind of depends on traffic and Google.
Why? Now, that's interesting, because he want to blow shit to law enforcement. My question is, why didn't they have someone follow him home immediately? Immediately. Right? Instead of waiting. I'm just saying.
And if we have anything planned, I would either take 24 at traffic, or I'd go down 41 and take 41 and come out on exit 1 in Clarksville through Kentucky, and there's multiple different back roads through there too. And I told them those, and I was like, these are the routes we take. And right now it's 24. So, I'm going to take 24 to get to the house. And I took that route, jumped on 24, went down Long Hollow Pike, and then went down, I can't remember the name of this road today for some reason, until I got all the way down to make a right and take it to 24 and miss all the
Well, okay.
downtown traffic on the interstate,
I'm about done.
which is takes you to exit. I want to say Hope Road. I think, I'm not too sure. I'd have to look at a map. But from there, I jump on the interstate and then head to Clarksville. And they followed me. We got here. They came in. They went through my house.
How many guys?
2
Were they sheriffs, FBI, TBI?
sheriffs.
All right. And then what happened?
They went through the house, and then by then I'd already called people, and they'd already and had my neighbors actually look to see if Sebastian came through. or if they'd seen him and they put a note on the door that for Sebastian, if you show up, call your dad now. I asked my neighbors if they saw Sebastian, just to call 911.
Okay. And what did the authorities ask you?
Wait a minute. Have you ever heard him say that before? That he had the neighbors go through and check, which would mean, did they have access to come into his house? I can see the having them leave a note on the door. So the note on the door was there when the sheriffs got there? Am I hearing this fucking wrong? Holy moly. Come on, RC. Why you gotta question everything? Because I have to. Okay.
Downtown traffic on the interstate, which is takes you to exit. I want to say Hope Road. I think I'm not too sure. I'd have to look at a map. But from there, I jump on the interstate and then head to Clarksville. And they followed me. We got here. They came in. They went through my house.
How many guys?
Two.
Were they sheriffs, FBI, TBI?
Sheriffs.
All right. And then what happened?
They went through the house, and then by then I'd already called people, and they'd already and had my neighbors actually look to see if Sebastian came through.
By then, I had already called the neighbors. I don't have time for that, Mr. Nobody. Hell, I Googled if him and Katie were married, and it said no. I had to re-Google that again. I had to reword it, though. It was the way I worded it, right? Oh, Lord.
Or if they'd seen him and they put a note on the door that for Sebastian, if you show up, call your dad now. I asked my neighbors if they saw Sebastian, just to call 911.
Okay. And what did the authorities ask you?
Pretty much.
So, before he gets the call from Chris, he goes to the Proudfoot house. Within that time frame, he's called the neighbors. He's called his neighbors to go through, see if Sebastian was around, and have them leave a note. So that note was there when the sheriffs came, right?
They asked me where I was at work, and then they asked me,
If it is invalid,
Lord have mercy. I'm almost done with this, you guys. This stuff drives me cuckoo. Drives me cuckoo-luka. For real.
closet, garage, wherever you need to look. I don't care. And after they did that, they left.
Did they ask you for your phone?
No,
At
That's
any
okay.
time? At any time had they asked you for your phone?
no, they didn't do that till the next day.
Okay, so the following day, you gave your phone.
They
And
asked
did
me if I gave it to them.
Did they download it?
Yeah, they had it for over 12 hours and downloaded everything off my phone.
And that'd probably be a Celebrite download, right?
Oh, what?
They took everything off of the phone. Everything off of the phone.
Would it be? It would probably be a Celebrite download. That's the software that they use.
From my
Yeah.
understanding, they use somebody. The tags on the stuff that I got back stated they used Vanderbilt University to download everything. So whatever
Yeah.
program they used, I do know that they burnt the image into my screen on my phone and blew up my battery.
Yeah, they have Vanderbilt has a UFED up there. So everything gets downloaded from your phone. How about
Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
Katie's and Chris's.
Yeah, they took Katie's and Chris's the next day as well.
So everybody's phone got collected.
Correct.
Here's the big one. What about Sebastian's?
They took Sebastian's phone as well.
So his is downloaded as well.
Well, they have his phone.
Right. They still have it.
Yes.
Okay. It's
As far as
sitting,
I know, they still have it.
so it's sitting in evidence somewhere.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what do you do then that day that they came to your house? Everybody searched. The neighbors are aware. Then where do you go?
That's interesting that Sebastian's phone is in evidence somewhere. Right?
Well, I'm here, so I start cleaning up after they did their, investigation or look through my house. And after that, I laid down, got some sleep, woke up, headed back down there. I was exhausted.
Yeah. Around what time was that?
I went to sleep that night, and then when I woke up, it was like 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. So about 2 a.m, and you head back towards the house, Katie's house?
Yeah, I headed towards Hendersonville.
So by that time, have you communicated with your job? What's going on?
Yeah, I've already communicated with my job. I communicated with my job when I got to my house. I turned around and contacted my sergeant and my captain, and then I contacted human resources as well.
So everybody in the chain of command is aware that your son's missing, and
Correct.
the sheriff's department knows by this time, I'm assuming, and keep me on the straight track, that you have notified your chain of command because you're, law enforcement, and everybody's good to go.
Yeah.
Would that be an accurate assessment?
In fact, I believe the next day, I believe that my boss was actually on TV doing an interview with somebody, telling them that, yeah, I work for the sheriff, that I'm one of his officers and everything else.
And that they have you on.
Why would his boss need to go on TV to tell people that Seth works for him? Did you guys see that? I guess I just wasn't paying no attention, right?
On video in the jail around the time your son goes missing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were told because they never have actually told me what they told Sumner County.
Okay.
But I did have my attorney contact Davidson for my timesheets and anything that they could use to make sure that I was there, to prove that I was at work and never left.
So your department.
If you know your ass was at work, why you need people to come out and fucking say, oh yeah, Seth was at work, right? I mean, people are either going to believe it or they're not going to believe it, right? Carrie Lawson. Good to see you, Carrie. Carolyn thinks they never got home that night. I don't know.
Basically is your alibi. Would that be
Yeah,
accurate?
that and probably 50 so cameras.
Okay, that's a lot of cameras.
Well, I mean, they got a lot of cameras there's cameras.
Can I say this? Just because a person of interest is said to have been at work the whole time, that just means they're physically there, right? You don't know who these people are talking to, who they're contacting. You don't know if prior to the day that Sebastian goes missing or the night before, that these individuals have not talked to people that absolutely could have instigated Sebastian going missing, right?
Cameras, it's a electronic access to get into the garage to begin with, because the parking area is underneath part of the jail. So, I mean, you got to have access to get in. So they have my ID scan and then video camera footage of me coming in, and you're on camera everywhere except for the bathroom.
Okay. Have the authorities to this date, 2.5 years later. Cleared you?
They have not come out and stated anybody's been cleared.
All right. But you weren't the last person with your son. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
All right. So let's go back to the house. You arrived 2 o'clock in the morning, first night.
No, I did not go there at 2 o'clock in the morning. At 2 o'clock in the morning, when I left here, I got there at about 3, and then
Okay.
I just drove around. I was not going to their house until again. No.
And what was the reason for not going towards the command center and stuff like that?
I didn't have a reason to go to the command center yet. I wanted to drive around and see if I could find my son.
Okay. So you're driving around looking for him still that evening. At what point do you get over back to the house?
I think I went over to their house maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
Went there, asked, has anybody heard any information? Nobody's heard any information. I leave.
Who's there?
At this point in time, it'd be Chris and Katie are there.
Hey, stop just for a second. You come through the door.
Oh no, this time I knocked.
You knock on the door. What happens?
They opened the door and let me in.
Who's they?
I think it was probably Chris.
What happens?
At this point in time, the second day is when they took our phones. So once they took our phones, you know, I have to deal with that too, because nobody knew they took my phone. So I actually had cops and stuff coming to my door here because people were calling for welfare checks on me and couldn't get a hold of me. But they took my phone, and 12 hours later, I was like, you guys need to give me my phone back. I've been without it for long enough. There's people I need to contact. My son is missing, and my mom and dad, my family, people that need to know that I'm okay. And they have no way of contacting me. While they were doing that, I was between the house and the command center and driving around looking for Sebastian.
Okay. So you're at the house. I want to take you back to the house for a moment. You knock on the door opens. Chris is there. What happens?
Not much. I mean, are you talking about?
That's the first time you see him, right?
No, I saw him on day 1 when he showed up before I left to go back to my house.
Okay. I didn't know that. So let's back up.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let's go back to the day.
So now he's saying that he got to the house before Chris did.
Before.
When
You
Chris
saw-
got there,
What time did he get there?
I want to say that he got there right before I left, and I want to say that we left at like 1:30. So he was there by the time we left.
Okay. So what's an approximate time? Because I want to
1:30.
make sure that I'm getting a timeline correct here.
I'd say
Okay.
about 1:30.
About 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
So he's saying that Chris didn't get there until 1:30 in the afternoon.
about 1:30 in the afternoon, he shows up. What was he driving, if you remember?
His truck.
What kind of truck? If you know.
I don't. It's not my truck. I think it was a diesel big old truck that would pull a fifth wheel. I mean, it was a big old truck.
Is he with anybody?
I didn't see anybody with him when he came into the door.
Where were you standing when he pulls up, if you remember?
I was in the house. I heard him pull up, and I walked to the door.
Did you let him in, or did he just walk in?
Oh, yeah, I'm the one that opened the door to let him in.
Okay. Did Katie tell you to do that, or you just were being respectful? I don't.
This is being respectful. It's his house.
All right. And when he walked past you, did you guys say anything?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Stopped and asked me a couple questions.
What were they?
What are you going to do if this goes south?
What did he mean by that?
I don't know. Maybe you should ask him because I know what that means.
I will. But
I mean,
What are you gonna do if this goes south? That would mean to me, to remain calm in her mind, that, oh boy, Seth and maybe Chris set something up. And maybe Katie didn't know. I'm not saying this is what happened. Maybe Katie didn't know. Don't forget, Katie was a big factor in not wanting to give Seth total control of Sebastian and his life, right? So I know that Seth is saying this in a way that makes Chris look guilty of something, but it sounds like you two need to get together, you and Chris, okay? And you two need to go talk to the FBI together. I ain't even gonna say TBI or, KBI or, whatever. That sounds super shady. Super shady statement there.
But I'm asking you right now to make sure that I'm tracking this correctly.
To me, when you say, what are you going to do if this goes south? To me, he's talking about is Sebastian's not alive anymore.
No, that's not what it sounds like to me. Does that sound like Chris McDonough? Are you really thinking that it sounds like that is what? What? I'm telling y'all. I mean, Mancom's just saying.
Is that what you thought it meant?
Yeah.
And how did you answer it?
I left.
Walk
I
me
walked
through.
out of the house. I walked out of the house and walked to my truck. I'd already spoke with law enforcement. They wanted to go, and I didn't want to deal with that. I don't know how a person can be so negative straight off the bat and jumping to the worst conclusion of all.
Have you ever wanted to see your home
The
from
worst
space?
conclusion, because maybe y'all had it set up, and maybe you set it up, and you sent some people to help you out, and Chris was like, dude, what if this goes fucking south?
Or he walks in and he asks you a question or makes the comment, what are you going to do if this goes south? Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And you said what exactly again?
Oh, I didn't say anything. I walked out. I just walked out.
And
You just walked out. Seth, who has something to say about everything, just walks out. Law enforcement was in the house, right? So Seth just walks out.
I wasn't going to respond to such. I wasn't going to respond to that. That just caught me off guard. And
It caught him off guard. Hallelujah, brother. At least you're being honest. It caught you off guard, right? That statement caught you off guard because you were not expecting Chris to say something like that. So I don't know if this has happened. I don't know if this is true. This is just Remingham's brain, okay? And not on substances, okay? My brain is not on substances. And absolutely, you freaked out. You freaked out because law enforcement was in the house. What would you guys have done, right? If law enforcement would have been like, hold on a minute. What has been concocted here concerning this 15-year-old boy that y'all are worrying about what went south? What did y'all do? You know, I don't know.
recently, I was aggravated because
Why?
he's my son. How are you going to sit there and even breach that subject? Hasn't been first.
What subject? It didn't sound to me like he was telling you that Sebastian was no longer alive. Right? It sounds like a couple people who were in a plan together, and maybe one of those people in the planned out situation, may have taken the lead on something, and you're like, what the fuck are we going to do if this goes south? What are you going to do if this goes south? Right?
First 48 hours, I'm hoping that these people are going to be doing their job and we're going to find my son. But you're sitting here already wanting to talk about what if I'm going to do if he's deceased. No parent wants to think about that. No parent. No. I love
so you've got your son in your mind missing, and he's got your son potentially deceased.
Yeah. Dude.
And that do you think he was pushing your button?
Don't know what he was doing.
Did he say anything else?
No, because I was out of the house.
So you left. How did Katie react when that went down?
Katie was in the living room. I was at the front door where I just opened it. So
you don't know if she heard it or
I don't
not.
know if she heard it or not.
Were law enforcement around you?
No.
All right. Were they in the house at that time?
There was still a guy sitting at the dining room table.
And who was that guy?
I don't remember his name, and I don't think I've ever seen him again.
Okay. And so that was that moment. And then later on, there's another time where now you're back at the house. He let you in the second time now. You let him in. Huh?
Tuesday.
Okay. When you go in, is there an interaction there at the door again, or how's this relationship evolving during all the stress?
He was there. I said, good morning, walked in, see what the situation was. Katie, she's still crying and upset.
What about Chris?
Doesn't seem to be too upset about anything.
Help me understand that. What do you mean?
It's like he seems more aggravated or irritated than anything else.
Like by what gave you that indication? Meaning, help me understand. Is it his behavior? Is it his
body language, behavior, facial expressions?
Like what tipped you off to that internally to where you make that assessment? What were you looking at?
I was looking at everything. I mean, it's just previously 12 years of being a security officer in the public, and you're not law enforcement. Okay. So you're pretty much your own person. You got to be able to watch and see.
12 years. 12. Did he say 12 years of being in law enforcement? Now, I do remember seeing paperwork where it had to do with a restraining order from I believe it was a security company that Seth used to work for, where he was let go, I believe, over I can't remember what he did. It wasn't good, though. It wasn't good. And the company filed a restraining order against him. Right? Did I remember that correctly?
See things that might lead to a situation. So you watch how people shift their feet. You watch how people are their hands going into their pockets? Are they sitting there fiddling with their hand? Do they always have something in their hand right now? When they're speaking, are their eyes creasing? I mean, are their eyebrows going up? Is their lip twitching? You read
He's been watching the behavioral panel on YouTube. Go check him out. See, I could have done a commercial for him. I would have been like, 4 guys watching your body language. Watch out, YouTube. Yeah, the boys are watching your behavior. See, that's a good one.
the body language when somebody talks so that if you're talking to somebody and they're aggravated and they're 3 feet away from you, gun is not going to help you. It's going to be hand to hand at this point in time.
See, Seth. Hey, let me say this, sir. We watched you when you had your freaking shoulder problem. Okay? We watched you. And I watched you. And we seen you when you were telling JLR, you were like, get this shot of me, rubbing my elbow, my shoulder. We even made up a set dance, right? I need to do an 800 number. I do. I may do that. Set up my own 1-800 number. For real. Because it's like a shame. What? Here's a tip. Don't ask why, because it's like a shame bell. What, Maggie? I am lost. I am lost.
because that's close combat.
Close combat. Oh my God. You know why he never, I bet you anything, there's a reason Seth would not hook up with Ernie Shell. Could you imagine Seth and Ernie Shell together? I'm just saying, for real.
That sort of stuff. So I spent most of the time when I was there until Wednesday, because I was only there until Wednesday after.
I heard that when he was in training to get his job at the jail, that he wanted to quit. He wanted to quit. And Chris, you know, stood beside him and was like, look, Seth, your son is looking at you. He is proud of you. You don't want to quit. That's what I heard.
After the big blow up, and I was just watching people's body language. Nobody really wanted to talk to me. I really didn't want to talk to them because I was already uneasy. I'm uneasy in their house to begin with because it's their house. I don't really want to be in their house. I have nothing to do with these two. The only reason I'm here is for my son. You know, when she asked for a divorce, I said, okay.
He said, okay, baby, I'll give you a divorce. I'll give you a divorce. No, you didn't. You did not. Be honest about it.
Only thing I care about is my son. Fought tooth and nail to make sure I could have joint legal, and now he's missing. And the last people around him, the last person around him.
And they fought tooth and nail, monetary wise, to bring you to help raise your son. They helped you become something instead of living in your fucking car.
Is in this
In my
house.
opinion.
I'm going to watch them. And, you know, she was sitting on the counter. I mean, on the couch, rocking back and forth with a blanket around her. I mean, that was the second day and the third day.
Okay.
You
What's
know, I'm
that
sitting
tell
there
you?
going, what can we do? Can we get flyers out? Can, you know,
What does that tell you, Mr. Body Behavior Expert? She's a grieving mother whose son has been missing for 3 days. Okay? Now, you, of course, want to get the flyers and everything going. Then fucking do that. But if you are going to try to shame a mother because for 3 days her son is missing and she is completely ripped apart, mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Maybe it was kind of expected, Dad, that you fucking attempt to pick up that slack for her, even though she didn't love you no more, even though she was married to a different man. Right? Oh, Lord. I know that was a speech. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just felt that, right? I just felt in my soul that I needed to say that.
law enforcement already told us not to be doing any interviews, to let them handle the interviews while, you know, they're doing this. So I've already gotten direction from the governing law enforcement. I'm not going to tell you you can't, that I'm not going to tell you that I'm not allowed to go search for my son, but you're telling me.
Dude. Okay. Of course. I mean, all right. I'm about done with this.
You're giving me a direct order of not speaking to the press. Well, that's great because that's normal. That's normal for my profession. We don't talk. You want to talk, you contact, you know, HR. Speak to the.
I can't with this anymore. I have been on there 3 hours. Please feel free to go watch the rest of it. Chris McDonald's link is in the fucking description. I can't with this guy anymore. I just can't. Let me show you who this is really about. Oh, hold on. Let me pull up Sebastian's. Let's do the FBI one. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Damn it. I can't even fucking spell. What am I doing? Come on, RC. You are a goober. FBI. Sebastian. La, 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 la. Here we go, guys. This is who this is about, for sure. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I can't even freaking talk now. Went missing February 26, 2024, from Hendersonville in Sumner County, Tennessee. FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Drake Rogers, last seen February 25th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Sebastian was born December 27, 2008, blonde or brown hair, brown or hazel eyes, 5'5", 120 pounds, male, white. The FBI is offering an award of up to $50,000 leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian. Sebastian has ties to Clarksville, Tennessee. Okay. So sad. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact Sumner County Sheriff's Office. The number is on my banner, and the TBI 1-800-TBI find is also on there. Now, also, this is interesting. So you can call TBI. You can go to TBI find, local FBI office, or the nearest American embassy or consulate. That's really interesting, right? You can also go to the U.S. embassy or consulate for sure. Let me get Sebastian's picture back up here. So, from what I've seen, this is just what I've seen. Seth doesn't seem like he's really been interested in working with law enforcement. You know, I think that maybe it's his narcissistic attitude. That's just my opinion. I am not saying Katie and Chris Proudfoot are innocent or guilty. I am not saying Seth Rogers is innocent or guilty. Okay? It is about finding Sebastian. Finding Sebastian. For sure. So that's interesting, right? And Fly's ass earlier mentioned that Summer was not on the FBI list like now we do know that June 15th, That's the only thing I can figure is that Sebastian's 15 years old, and somewhere they have seen some type of evidence. Very sad. Don't forget they arrested that guy in Illinois, right? For doing and having things on the internet. So, and they extradited him back. That was right after Sebastian went missing. So, we don't know where Sebastian's at. And I pray that he's found. I really do. You know, I always say this about people, and Seth Rogers is just Seth Rogers. If you've really listened to him the whole time, you know, I don't know. He's very boastful about himself, and, you know, I kind of thought for real in the beginning that for some reason my mind, I was like, either Sebastian got with someone online that they didn't know about, or Chris and Seth set up something, you know, because Katie did not want to give full access to Seth. Katie didn't want Sebastian to go live with Seth. She truly didn't. There was a lot of animosity going on that, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. I could see where Seth is trying to say that Chris saying that to him meant that what's going to happen if they find him unalive, right? I can see where he could think that. Absolutely. But if that was the case, why wouldn't he want to have that conversation with law enforcement there, right? If he thought that Chris Proudfoot was guilty of anything from the get-go, why didn't he confront Chris in front of the law enforcement agencies that were in that house, right? So, I don't know. But I adore you guys. Thank you, mods. Thanks, Flies, for popping in. I know you ain't been feeling well. Thank you, the mouse, for being so supportive of the channel. It means a lot to me. We are absolutely praying for you for sure. Carrie, I'm glad you got to make it for a little while. I'm glad you're okay, lady. For sure. I keep praying. Yeah. Well, we've got Michael Vaughn, Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. That's three kids too many. One kid is too many, right? For these kids to just disappear and we don't know what happened. Michael's case is so hard because we've been told by a monster what he says happened to Michael, and it's devastating. It is devastating. And Michael needs to be brought home. He needs to be brought home. That's just the saddest case. So, thanks, Truth Hurts. Well, I do appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And, you know, if I sounded bitchy, that's just me. I just sound bitchy. For real. And if I don't say anything to you, then, you know, if I say something to you, then I'm joking with you. I like you. Okay. If I don't, if you're in my chat and I don't, you know, converse with you at all, then you might figure I don't like you that much. Unless I didn't see you. Always an excuse. Always an excuse. Oh, Kyron, yes, Kyron Horman. Well, I pray that this stuff that's going on with the stuff that's going on with well, thanks. I'm glad somebody likes it. Don't be mad. I have to remove the comment. I don't care that you made the comment. YouTube would just give me about the bitchy part. For sure. Oh, it's okay. I could have left it. I'm not going to monetize this anyway. For sure. Yeah, I'm feisty, all right. Something to think about. We need AI and has a difference in the interviews, all the key players in Summer's disappearance. That's a big shoe to fill right there. Someone who knows a lot about AI, if they can put them all in there to figure it out. So is AI going to tell us that at the time of these interviews, what kind of substances they were doing while they were doing the interviews? Now that would be interesting. I'm just saying. Okay. Peace out, you guys. Be you, do you. Hang wherever you need to hang. These children definitely need to be found. We are praying and praying and praying. So hopefully, I really hope that Sebastian, if he stays gone and he turns 18, that he comes back home and at least let's, you know, let Katie and Seth know where he's at for sure. So, all right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I know my lives are always, I am weird. I'm a weirdo. I know. Okay. Nobody ain't got to tell me no different. I already know it. All right. Peace out, you guys. Thank you for the conversation. I appreciate it. Later.